dear friends. Brenda L. Balding for Love's Inner Voice here with you. Oh, I'm so blessed to be here today. Let's start with some heart breaths. That is breathing in light and love into your heart, down into your lungs, and wherever else it wants to go. And as you breathe out anything that you're ready to let go of right now into that love and light. So let's do a few of those now just to come in and be present. You know, and when I want to do my body with my breath, I put my two hands together and I pull it up and it looks like a heart to me. And then I can just open up to the love and the light and bring it into my heart. Thank you for doing that with me. I have an incredibly beautiful guest with me today. Her name is Brenda Mcgregor. And I don't get to meet very many Brendas in my life, and she's been just a gem. She is passionate about empowering people to recognize their own strength and create the impact they desire in their lives. And she does this in several avenues, and she can talk about some of them when we get to meet her. One is she's a coach. She does one-on-one with individuals who feel stuck or stifled. She also has a podcast. And the reason that the title for our show has "if only" in quotes is because that's the name of her podcast. And today we're talking about going from if only, that's a way of thinking, to new possibilities, a new way of thinking about life, which helps us overcome our obstacles and inspires. She's also a speaker. She does vision board workshops. She leads them. And she has 30-year career, plus more, as a corporate executive, most recently as a vice president of human resources. And we talked a little bit about that when we met on her podcast, because my master's is in human resources and organization development. But she deeply enriches her work. And with her extensive background in accounting and unique positions, she can support people, you, in many ways. So please welcome Brenda Mcgregor. It's such a joy.
Well, thank you for having me. I can't tell you how excited I've been to be with you again. And I feel honored to be a guest.
Thank you so much, Brenda. And I told you earlier, I love the dancing ladies behind your head. It is so beautiful. And I loved the story that you shared behind it. And I think it probably gives you inspiration when you're working with certain kinds of people, I would bet.
Well, that's a very intuitive takeaway from my sharing. Yes. So this artist, lost her family in the Holocaust, and her art represents many things, but these are faceless women. You see them often in her work that are dancing and have the freedom, and they're together, and it's a community. And to your point, I am working with people with the intention of them creating a freedom and a joy of community, or with whatever is important to them.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love the fact that you said joy, because I heard recently a new acronym, or an acronym for joy, that I just love, or for job that I just love, because work is such a heavy word. So I said to a friend, what can I use instead? She said, use job. Don't you know the acronym? I said, no. She says, joy of being.
Mm,
Just went, oh yeah, being who I am, just who I am
brilliant,
in the moment. Isn't that brilliant? There's also
brilliant.
another one, joy in prayer, joy in, you can do a lot of that, but I love the joy of being. So I wanted to
Mhm.
share that with you and with the audience, because I think that is what you assist people to do too in what
Yes,
you're doing.
yes.
So, what one breakthrough story um, that continues to inspire you today? Is there one that just continues to inspire you?
So do you want it to be from one of my clients that I can share or from my own personal life?
Whichever you think would be more powerful. I would prefer to hear about you, but you can
Okay.
also share about a client.
Okay. Well, I think recently I can talk about most recently in my life. So as you eloquently shared, I spent 37 years in working for the same company in a corporate office, starting out in an
Mhm.
accountant and then um, ending up creating and designing, delivering the whole human resources function for over
Right.
4,000 employees across the United States. It was a hospitality company, hotels and restaurants. And I was sure that I was going to retire from there. And in 2022, my the owners of my company called me into a meeting, and because of a lot of different reasons, nobody was happy about it. They were acquired, and I no longer had a job.
Mm.
So I've done a lot of my own personal development over the years, but I'll be honest, the first couple of days after that, I was going through all the stages of grieving: anger, sadness, really denial that this was happening. How could this be? Because this truly was my identity, and it had been
Mm.
for 37 years. So I knew the value of coaching because I had coached in the corporate world. I coached executives and managers, and I knew the value of it. So I hired my own coach within about a week of this occurring. And I started to look, okay, what is next for me? And it allowed me to, and I won't belabor the story, but I settled on I wanted to coach because I knew the difference I could make in that space. But that required a complete transformation of who I had been. The busy executive, waking up at 5 o'clock every day, being out the door no later than 6:10 to be at my desk by 7 a.m. and working all day, being
Mm-hmm.
responsible for 4,000 employees and having a very meaningful, impactful job, to now they don't need me anymore. And learning how to be comfortable not being in that identity anymore. And
So
it was a huge,
basically, rebirthing yourself.
yes, yes. And it was a breakthrough for me, and it took probably a good year and a half
Mm-hmm.
when I finally gave myself permission to sleep past 5:15 every day.
Yay!
And the breakthrough caused a freedom in my life that I never dreamed possible. That I get up, and one of my very favorite things that I do every day is get my coffee and go climb back in my bed with a book or my iPad and slowly wake to the day. That was not possible when previously.
And it's
And I
so
have,
simple.
it is so simple.
Hmm.
It is so simple, but you don't see it as possible when you're living within a certain identity.
Right.
Hmm.
And, you know, for someone listening that feels that they've settled in life, because you felt like you had settled, right? What's one small step they can take today to begin again? I mean, you shared a couple of things, but is there one key point that you feel like assisted you more than some of the others?
I'm a big believer in first you have to deal with what's so.
Hmm.
What's in place right now instead of pretending or covering it up or like really getting present to what is so right now and what's missing in your life that you wish were present. And then starting to create for yourself, even if it's just one small step, to create what it is you see missing, whether that's intimacy, connection with human beings, um, getting a college degree, um, having better relationships with your children, whatever it is that you see there's a disconnect between what you desire and what you see present, taking one small step to begin to create that.
Hmm. And sometimes that one small step is being honest and accepting what is, no
Yes,
matter what the emotion is around it. And that can be a real self discovery journey in itself.
100%. And much like when I was laid off, it's easy to just go in denial about things
Oh,
and
yeah.
not want to deal with the emotions associated with this
Oh, yeah.
loss. It was a
Because it's
huge loss.
painful. It's
It's
painful.
painful, but invariably, if you make yourself go through that difficult period, you will come
Mhm.
through on the other side. But if you let it linger in your body and in your mind, in your spirit, it pollutes you. It pollutes what's possible. It clutters up and leaves no space for something new to arise.
Or for us to even see what's possible when
A
we do
hundred
this.
percent.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I love the fact that you mentioned grief, that you went through some grief, because I don't know if I shared with you when I was on your podcast the acronym that I came up with for grief because of the grief that I was feeling for the death of my dad in December. I'm going to share that with the audience if that's okay,
Yeah,
because for
please.
me, and we talked about rebirth, and that's one of the words that I included in my acronym. And I love acronyms because the word can be heavy. But if we come up with good words for the letters, we can lighten up the word. At least that's how it helped for me.
A
Because the
hundred percent.
G, yeah, the G I came up with gratitude or grateful, rebirthing, internal energy flow. And that's really what I want to do to assist me to get through the grief. Is I want to have that internal flow from the divine, the internal flow from my thinking into what's next,
Hmm.
into curiosity, into listening to my intuition.
Hmm.
That's what that is for me. Um, what is your ultimate hope or vision for people you serve through your coaching or speaking or podcasting?
There's so many, but in a nutshell, I want them to know that they matter
Mm-hmm.
and that they are loved and that it is truly possible to create a life where they love all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have lived it. And even if there's parts of your life that work well, there all of us have areas of our life that we would like a different result.
Yes.
And I believe through doing your own work, however you do that, that you can discover a path towards having a life that you love all of it, warts and all. And underneath that, there is a profound self love, a love of self that allows you to navigate this very challenging life we're living in a way that honors you and the people and the things that are important to you.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it really is important. Self love, if we don't accept ourselves for just who we are, like you said, with our warts, we're human, we make mistakes. Oh gosh, I saw it this way. And how often do we get into shoulding
Yes.
ourselves? I should have known better. I mean, I've done that. I had a really tough experience, and you know what that is, but we don't need to get into that now. How does shoulding affect you, and how does should show up with the clients that you work with?
Oh, I love that question. I have for some reason this sort of, not that I don't say I should have, but I that's not my reliable voice in my head, is that I should have done something different. But what I notice with clients, and one of the big hurdles that there is to overcome is they're shooting, like when they show up in my space and we go through our typical experience and then we schedule our next call. And normally at the end of the first call, they have action items to take in the coming week. And oftentimes they maybe didn't do any of them, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
they did one or two, but they show up in the space with this energy of, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I should have done this.
Yep.
And now Brenda's going to hold me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And teaching them that it's all good, it's all
Yeah.
perfect. There's no checklist I'm keeping saying, oh my gosh, Brenda, you didn't get that done. You should have done it. You should have done it. No, the lesson for me is this is your life, your
Yeah.
creation. And yes, we come up with a plan. And as long as it's aligning with what you say you want, I'm just along for the ride. And there may be a client who is resisting coaching and consistently shows up and is not taking any action for weeks. Then I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
have a different discussion with them. It's not about should, it's about you're not aligned with your word and what you said you wanted to get out of this relationship.
Right.
Hmm.
So, what is showing up that's getting in your way? And I know you mentioned people that are blocked from certain things, and that sounds like a block to me. But I also love the title of your podcast, If Only, because that's also to me part of should. If only I did this. If only my parents had done that. If only, because that can move me into should, and should can then move me into shame.
Yes.
And is that where I really want to be? No.
No.
Is that where anybody wants to be? And
Yeah.
part of what you said, I love it that, we really are encouraged to accept people just as they are. We may not like how they're responding. We may not like what they're saying. We may not like that they're having difficulty following up on the commitment that they made. In the long run, we can't change that.
Not at all.
All we can do is change our attitude about that.
Yes.
and accept them just the way they are. And eventually they're going to, what I found is they're going to go, oh, she accepts me just the way I am. I guess I can do better, can't I? And then
Hmm.
it becomes a free choice. So thank you for sharing that. Would you give us a background of your title, If Only, and where that came from?
Sure. Thank you. So, my experience in the corporate world was wonderful in a lot of ways. But
Mm-hmm.
I would bump into pretty consistently in all my travels that I had an experience, and I watched women in particular have an experience of not being fully heard.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I came
Mm-hmm.
out of that. And when I knew I wanted to be a coach, I also at the same time said, I want to create a platform whereby women's voices and stories can be heard fully without interruption. Like you watch a talk show and they're right in the middle of a response and then they cut them off. And I always hated that. I'm like, wanted to say, let them finish talking. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided I wanted to have a podcast where women shared a former block that had stopped them in the form of an if only. If only I were smarter, then I would go to college. If only I had more money, then I would finally be happy. Or if only my husband would actually do what I ask him to do, right?
You're right.
And in sharing their breakthrough, in recognizing that this was only a self-imposed limitations and that we have the power to move that and create that breakthrough for ourselves. Only we can do that.
Right.
Nobody else is going to bring us a breakthrough. We are the creator of a breakthrough. And they
Mm-hmm.
had a breakthrough in their mindset, their limiting beliefs, and their whole world opened up to new possibilities. And that's what they share about. And so they get to share their story and empower other people, other women to hear something. Oh, I never thought about that. Women see themselves in my guests, like yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
it causes them to apply it to their own life through their own filter. What could I do to break through my own if onlys?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it gives women or people a new perspective. It's kind
Yes.
of like I see the mirror ball. Remember the mirror balls we
Oh,
had
yes.
when we were kids with it going around and all the, well, each of those little things are different perspectives or different attitudes that we can learn, and they're all parts of us. Because you know what?
100%.
I love some of the metaphors we have. Are you still working and leading vision board workshops? And if you are, could you tell us about those? I would love to
Sure.
hear
So I
more.
typically do, I do one at the beginning of the year in person. I work with people, but I have also had people say, can I do a smaller version with the people in my office? And it is a invigorating, fun time to spend with other people. I supply most of the supplies. They come in, they have a vision of what they want to create in the coming year, and they start to create a vision of what they see in their life. I also, with each new client, request that they create a vision board because I believe if you have in your space somewhere a literal vision of the future you want to create, it calls to you. It aligns you and reminds you, okay, this is what I said I wanted to have. I
Mm-hmm.
have a funny story I'll share. One of
Go
my
for it.
first clients, wonderful human being, I won't name her,
That's all right.
She wanted to create a new relationship. She hadn't had a relationship in over 20 years. And she honestly had all the reasons and justifications for giving up on that. So when I talked to her about a vision board and told her, gave her the instructions, actually sent her some supplies because we worked remotely together. She texted me and said, "Brenda, can we get on a quick call?" This was like a week or so later. She said, what am I supposed to put on this vision board? A bunch of pictures of men?"
I love it.
I said, "No, absolutely not. I want you to create on your vision board what you want your life to look like, and a man will come in it." But it was so cute and so sweet. And
I love it. I can see it.
yes.
Thank you for sharing that. That's such a hoot.
Mhm.
So, what you're saying is that you encourage people to create vision boards. And that sounds like a really good thing when somebody feels stuck about something, figuring that out. What am I stuck in? And writing it down. Well, what vision can I have to get me unstuck? What kinds of things can I do to get unstuck? And sometimes, I mean, I have acrylic art studio right here to my right, and I love to paint. So and I don't paint beautiful paintings like that, but I paint my feelings. And so sometimes if I'm feeling upset or frustrated or in lack or angry about something or just asking myself, why is this happening? I can pick up some paint and some paints and just kind of go like this all over and update it and change it when things change. And I usually label it on the back.
Oh,
And they
that's so
end up
smart.
turning out to be beautiful, incredible modern art for me.
Yes, absolutely. And you illustrate in that you're getting it up and out, which is what we
Yeah,
talked about at the start. You've got to deal
right.
with what's there and
Yeah,
get it up and out.
yeah. And one of
You
the
do it in
things
a beautiful way.
yeah, a way that it's fun and I can do any colors I want and all of that. But the other thing that I find sometimes really helpful is just to pick up a pen or a pencil and paper and just
Okay.
doodle out my feeling or doodle out what is going on and just ask the divine what is going on with me and just doodle. I'm just going to doodle because I have tremors. So writing it out doesn't really work for me because I can't read my writing afterwards.
Got it.
So I doodle and then I ask the divine to give me inspiration about next steps or, and then I can type it in the computer or whatever. And that's where some of the words come from in my books that I use. Some of the words that are coming in my third Discovery is Challenge book
Okay.
because we all have challenges in our life, right? And you've dealt with clients that have challenges. Is there any one big challenge that, when I say the word, that comes to your mind that you'd like to share?
Resignation, that it can't be any better than this, that this is it. And
Wow.
and that and like I said earlier, it might not be resigned about their whole life, but about an area that's really important to them, like the client that had given up on having a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I also have another client um, who I've only worked with now for about 7 weeks. And when they came to me, they were trying to grow their business, but they were resigned it couldn't get any better. That
Huh.
they were at a point of, my revenue is not where I need it to be. I really feel like I need to go back and just go work a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to explore what were the limiting self beliefs that had become hardwired in his identity. And we started to unplug those hard wires. And when we do that, when we disconnect, I'm a big believer of being an observer of yourself. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
coach all my clients, you have to be an observer and to start to observe how those limiting self beliefs are running in the background all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you interrupt them? So, in quick order, he has he's not where he wants to be in 7 weeks, but he has 3 new clients. He has completely expanded and changed how he markets himself. He comes on our calls, and the words that come out of his mouth is, I'm so excited about what I'm doing. I'm so satisfied with what I'm doing. He has better relationships with his partner and his children because we deal with all of it, not just the specific resignation, because it colors your whole life.
Oh,
It,
absolutely.
yes,
Our thinking colors our whole life.
yes,
Our
and it,
our
yes,
core beliefs, you know. And sometimes I ask myself the question, Brenda, when I'm in a why mode or why me, or the whiny that we can get into when
yes,
things keep happening. Okay, Brenda, who's driving this bus?
right,
And sometimes it's my little girl, but sometimes it's a core belief. And if I
yes,
ask that question and get curious, all of a sudden I can get clarity on, oh, is this something that I really want to hang on to, or is this something I'm ready to let go of?
brilliant, brilliant of it.
And we tend to make it so darn hard,
We
don't
do.
we?
Yes. And don't you find too, and I'm as guilty of this as the next person, that we would rather be right about our resignation or about
Mm-hmm.
wherever it is that we're stuck than be happy. We would rather be right. And
Yeah.
that's an area that I work with my clients on because they don't see that. They don't see that they're stuck in rightness.
Well, or in their truth, which may be a myth because of what it's based on.
Right. 100%.
So asking myself, is that true? Is that really true? Well, what does true mean?
Hmm.
We can each define true in a totally different way because we're unique and we have our unique perspective. So
100%.
the two of us could be asked the same question and we could both come up with very different answers
Very different. Born out of the identity we've created by all of that.
by our experience, by our families, our parents, our yeah, DNA, what
Right.
and all
100%.
of that, right?
Yes.
And it's just, you know, I love to laugh about it. Number one, it's good for my immune system. But number two, I'm laughing with and at myself because I can get stuck in those merry-go-rounds of thinking. And then I go, oh,
It's
Brenda,
easy to do.
it's easy to do. It's
It's
not
easy to
always
do.
so easy to talk about, but if you have the vision board like you have, you encourage your clients to do, or the groups that you work with to do, or if you have I have a Louise Hay card sitting here in front of me, and it says, I easily flow with new experiences, new directions, and new changes. So if I
Mm.
have something like that that I'm looking at, it reminds me, oh yeah, I'm kind of stuck right now. Is this where I want to be? It encourages me to ask myself questions. And I try to have different cards. I don't always have the same ones because eventually you forget to look at them or you
It's so
forget to
true.
read them.
Yes. It becomes part. I have one in front of me that says discipline, integrity, and honor my word. And to
I
your point,
love that.
it becomes part of the background unless you stay present. Okay, yes,
Right,
that's what I said. I'm creating
right.
discipline. I'm in integrity and I'm going to honor my word.
Yes. And it really is about who am I choosing to be right now?
Yes.
And, I have down here on my computer, who am I right now? Who is it that I really want to be right now overall? So I put caps, I am, and then I put three things down because that's who I want to be. I wrote self discovery, honest, and compassionate because
Mm.
that's how I want to show up in the world. I want to have self honesty as well as honesty with whoever I'm talking to, honest about what I need, but I also want to be in self discovery or curiosity.
Yes.
And then I want to be compassionate to myself and others.
Well, that's so powerful. I
And
have the same
just,
practice.
yeah, just
Hmm.
like the three words you have down there, the integrity, the intuition, that kind of stuff. It's just so important for us to accept that we have challenges and we can turn them into gifts or we can turn them into whiplashes.
It's the truth. 100%. And words are powerful. Like you said, the I am
Yeah,
creates a whole way of being
yeah,
that you can live into then.
yeah. And I love that because the vision board is saying, this is who I am in my dream when I fulfilled in this moment for the next year or the next 6 months.
Yes, 100%. I have another client who created his vision board when he first came to me. And within 8 months, he only had one thing left on his vision board that he hadn't achieved. And
Wow.
oh yeah, but he was one of the most coachable human beings I've ever coached. And he was determined, I am going to create a life I love. And he did.
So he was open to whatever possibilities, gifts that were showing up. And he was going to turn any of the challenges, any of the stuckness, any of the thinking into magic.
He was. Now, and I'm not going to say it was always easy.
Oh no, that's the
Resist,
challenges come in, right?
he would resist the coaching at times. And
Yeah.
then invariably he would text me later or come in the next week and say, Brenda, I thought about what you said and I did XYZ and I can't believe what happened. But
Yeah.
he would resist it. It's hard to look at yourself and say, I might need someone to support me.
Mhm.
People go through life and think, I need to show that I got it all together and I know what I'm
Mhm.
doing and I can't show
Mhm.
anybody that I don't have it all together. And I don't know anyone that has it all together.
They're not human if they
Right?
do, in my brain's opinion. But, and a lot of that is, oh, we were taught that we're not allowed to talk about our mistakes, or we get in trouble if we make mistakes, or we get in trouble if we didn't do it fulfill the expectations that we were given. And when we come across those things, to me, those are the challenges. And I like calling them challenges rather than defects or any other word, because to me, challenges have open doors
Yes.
to learn from and to create gifts from, or to let go of something. That can be a gift too.
100%.
So I love that you shared about that, gentleman, because we do get into resistance when we come across the links that you were talking about earlier, the core beliefs, that kind of stuff, that the walls that are inside our head. So I love that you shared with him that we can still create something beautiful even if we have resistance to the process.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience, Miss Brenda, before we say goodbye, much as I hate to do that?
Well, this has been so fun. And the only thing that comes to mind for me is the sure knowledge that anybody who's watching this, listening to this, has whatever they need already within them. And all it takes is the courage to take
Mm-hmm.
even the smallest step to start to reveal and remove the layers of story and limiting beliefs that have covered up your true identity.
Oh, that's beautiful. Somebody said, yes, your history, uncover your history and recreate. And if you look at the word history, it's hi story.
I hadn't heard that before.
And I love it because if I'm talking story to myself, I can go, hi story. Oh, do we want to change this story? Do we want to make it different? Or do we want to let it run us right now? And, all of it's
Right,
okay.
right.
All of it's okay.
And the majority of our story we made up,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Or it became a story on actions or things that were taught or said, and then we grew them.
100%.
And a lot of it's based on former expectations, I
Yes,
find.
hundred
That
percent.
either that either weren't met or that other people had of us and we didn't feel like we were good enough to meet them, and all of that.
100%.
Oh, Brenda, this has been absolutely beautiful. So if people want to find you, they can find you at brendamcgregor.com.
Yes, please. And I look forward
And
to hearing
there it
from anyone.
is. And I look forward to hearing comments on this when we show it. And I will let everybody know when we're going to show it. And we'll be giving Brenda some snippets so she can share it too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anything else you would like to share before we say goodbye?
No, other than I so much enjoyed this. It was a bright light in my week, and I will never forget it. And I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much. I felt the same way when I was on If Only.
Oh,
So
thank
it's the
you.
Brenda team.
There you go.
Okay, everybody, thank you for being here. Let's take some closing heart breaths to just become present and grounded again, because we had so much fun, didn't we?
So much fun. So much fun.
Let's just take some heart breaths and say, ciao for now.
Ciao.
Blessings.